Welcome back to Callahan's Corner. Take number 2, where you ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook. Had some technical difficulties, but did want to get to this gentleman's question here. Going to read it once again off my phone, Facebook group. Gentlemen want to know, how do I create reoccurring jobs that do not have a price for reoccurring inspection for basically quality control for his company? So first off the bat, I'm going to recommend we do not, no matter the CRM, create a reoccurring job, because what that's going to do, in my opinion, in most software, is going to create an issue with job costing production rate reports. The best solution is going and creating a to-do, task, or a ticket, depending on the software that you're actually in. So the software I'm going to tackle in here is Service Autopilot. In addition, Keep by Infusionsoft has the same kind of functionality where we can set up reoccurring tasks or to-dos assigned to a person with a due date, call script, or information what they need to be doing on that job. So inspections, equipment maintenance, anything that's reoccurring, this is very applicable. Once again, don't recommend using a job. I recommend using a ticket feature or a task or to-do, depending on your CRM, customer relationship management software. So with any luck, we're going to pop open the screen here and we are good. So once again, we're doing this inside Service Autopilot. And what we're going to be looking at here is I'm going to say that someone is calling our office. I'm going to use 2 examples of setting up an estimate, and then I'm going to also go in and set the ability for a reoccurring inspection. So first thing that I'm going to do, a little outside of the question, but just for workflow and concept here, some background, is when somebody calls your office inside and you're using Service Autopilot, we're going to go in and hit the plus icon. We're going to always add them as a lead, and we're going to go in and put in their first name, last name, address. And postal code. And once we have that in there, the next thing that we always want to do is make sure we have an email to be able to email them out their estimate and follow up. And a phone number. I'm recommending we always put that in the cell phone field so we can do two-way texting and automated texting. So I'm going to show you how to set up like an estimate with the workflow, and then I'm going to answer the particular question of reoccurring tasks. But I want to lay some concept of how this workflow looks like to set up the lead and add a ticket or a to-do or a task to the client, and then how to set up a similar workflow for a reoccurring inspection. So what we're going to be doing here is then going in and going into details. I'm going to recommend we select the account type, and under sales, how did you hear about us? So now we've got everything we need. We're going to hit save. We're going to continue. And now that we have this in here, what we're going to do is go in and create this ticket. So somebody's called and requested an estimate or an inspection or a quality control issue. This is a one-time event, and then I'm going to show you how to build out the reoccurring. So we're going to go up in the more area. Now there's a couple different ways to skin this cat, but I'm going to be talking about the 5 or 6 screens of success, or maybe the 6 to 8 screens of success. Instead of working 19 or 20 screens in the system, we're dialing into a predictable, streamlined workflow. So we're going to go in and hit more. We're going to add a ticket. So once I'm the admin or somebody in the office pulling this in, you can have an event, a note, or a call. This is going to be an event, and the ticket category here is going to be an estimate. And the event category is also going to be estimate. So in the next example for the question that was asked, how do we create a reoccurring event for equipment maintenance or inspection? It's going to be a different category and event. So that's how we're going to filter these down. So in the subject line, I'm going to just say lawn care estimate. And I'm also recommending use it with the word estimate or bid in here. So on the board, the dispatch board, when we're going out and routing these, we can actually see very clearly it is an estimate bid. Status can be open. I'm going to select the assignment, and I'm going to select, if I'm in this test account, I'm going to select myself. I'm going to do some estimating. Now, I can do it anytime during this day here between 6 here, or I can do an appointment time here. So I'm going to say maybe that it is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we can set a particular time, or if it can be done any time of the day. We're going to go in and hit save. Now that's going to open up the ticket itself. So we've got several different ways of handling these tickets once they populate. So that's a one-time ticket, and it's going to pop open this ticket. And this right here is I like to use the analogy of a folder. So we can have a lot of things inside this basically file folder. We can have all the emails, the notes, the calls, the events, and the forms associated with this estimate. So particularly, we probably would be going out to our scheduling dispatch jobs either at the beginning of this day or the end of the day for tomorrow. And an admin or yourself would probably be going in and setting up that cadence of the schedule for the estimator or the inspection person. So we've got that right there. We can go in, we can hit show on map. We can select the order and optimize those. So we've got maybe from the farthest part to the shop to back to the shop, whatever that looks like, or your time slots. Once we've got that in, we're going to go in and go to manual or group stops or optimize stops. And once we've got that order we want, we're going to go into dispatch. And that's live. That's ready to go now in your mobile phone. Now, I'm recommending for an estimator, get a quick $250, $300 Chromebook, maybe a little expensive with the flip top. Let's be running this with a RAM mount in the truck or estimating car and run this right from particularly the tablet or computer. If not, we can run it through the mobile. Once we get to this estimate here, we can either log in through the mobile, through the client, and fill out the forms, or we could particularly be working this tickets area here and going into the particular ticket. Now, under advanced actions, I've got a couple different things here, but I would go in my workflow and hit fill out a form, and I'm going to select a form. So I would go in to the on-site estimate form and literally go in and fill in the information from the form. And that would be going in and looking at the turf square footage, mulch, by depth, number of delivery trips, number of small, medium, and large shrubs. We're adding all that information in. Then after we do that, without spending too much time here in this video, we'd fill in the property specific information or measure it online, hopefully. Then we're going to roll back into that ticket, and under the advanced area, I'm going to go in and hit add an estimate. So once again, we're working one streamlined workflow through this ticket. Then we're going to templates, and once we add this template, we've got the ability to go in, grab our estimate template, and if we had filled out that form or measured it online, all the property specific pricing would have rolled in. So if we had a 5,000 square foot lawn, it would have automatically populated the $30, 0.4 man hours, a cost of $14.76 to do the job, and the profit margin. And then in this area, in this test account, we've got the ability to put a numerical number 1 next to the area we're driving to account for that non-billable drive time. So we'd be pricing that out at $38.09 per cut, 0.56 hours with on-site and drive time, cost before profit and margin. Draft a quote. Boom, we send that out. At that point, we're going to go back to the ticket. Now, this is the important part for accountability, in my opinion. So once we finish that out, we've got this event here. We would want to add a note. So in my opinion, no ticket or to-do is ever complete unless there's a note. So this is for accountability. So dropped off estimate in person and emailed. So now we know what happens with an audit trail for accountability. And now if there was a follow-up event, we would go down to the bottom part here and create a follow-up event, click on the date. And what we're going to do is go in now and create the information and assign it. So if that's a follow-up event for a damage, so if we're going out to look at a sprinkler head that's damaged, it needs to be repaired, these tickets now can be followed up for accountability. Now, what you can see down here in the bottom left-hand corner is this is how we would go into a particular lead or client and set up a reoccurring ticket. So we'd set up the initial ticket for the category and event as a property inspection. And then under repeats never here on the far left-hand side, we're going to click never. And I would go into possibly custom, and I would say maybe every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, starting on the 9th, we are going out and creating this property inspection. So that's the final piece. Once you get into the actual ticket on the bottom left-hand corner into this screen here, we're going to set up that repeating feature to set up the equipment maintenance, property inspections. All of those can be assigned. Now, equipment maintenance and things like that, you may want to set up a dummy lead for equipment assets. and drive it off that lead with some tagging and segmentation so it does not affect your account for lead flow and different estimating reports that you're going to be looking at. So there's different ways to segment that out. That's a whole different video, but that is the way to tackle a one-time ticket for accountability assigned to somebody with no price. You can put budgeted time in here, right here, for accountability if you'd like. This is going to be driven through the mobile or tablet. And then in the bottom left-hand side here, repeats never, we click on the never, and we update it here based on the custom one or the standard ones or the custom one and set that into play. And that's going to build out a recurring ticket. So all the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually things that you and your team should be doing, in my opinion, should be documented in the ticket. And then we are going to go into the main ticket screen and filter down to see what's happening today, what's happening in the next 7 days, what's current, what's past due. So if you leave your business for a week or even 30 days, now we've got a 40,000 square foot overview of what's going on. And when I used to leave the business, this was the area I'd look at, either the tickets or to-dos, to filter down to see if everything that should be happening is happening while the business owner or manager babysitting the process. So this is your pulse on what should be getting done. Once again, very, very important in my opinion. We need to go in and put some notes in here. Dropped off estimate in person and email. So no ticket or to-do, in my opinion, the way we train it at SimpleGrowth and my lawn care company, no ticket or task or to-do is ever complete without a note on it. So if we go back 6 months later and Mrs. Smith said we never called her back in multiple times or never emailed her, we have an audit trail that protects us and allows us to provide good customer service. So we'll see you again, Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook.